Hi there, you guys. This is Dragon Ball and Cartoon Fan 2004 here. And okay, so do you guys remember that list I made like 2 or 3 weeks ago that randomly lists what I believe are 3 overplayed episodes of King of the Hill? Yeah, well, about that, I thought that would be a good idea to do that same type of idea with the Amazing World of Gumball. So yeah, in this video, I'll be randomly listing what I believe are 3 overplayed episodes of Gumball of last year in 2023. In case if I spoil anything, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, you have been warned. Yeah, let's get this video started. All right. So the first episode that's on this list is The Roots. Yeah, one of those Darwin-centric episodes in the later seasons. And yeah, this is a good episode. I do enjoy this episode. I think it's pretty funny, has an interesting plot to it and all that. But yeah, Cartoon Network definitely overplayed this episode like a little too much last year. Like, I really don't know why they aired this episode as much as they did. that little question can apply to like every episode that's on this list, honestly. But The Roots, yeah, it's definitely not the most overplayed episode of last year. But seriously, why did they air this one as much? Why? I mean, it's a good episode, but there's better Darwin-centric episodes, in my opinion. Like The Words from season 2, which, by the way, is another episode they aired a lot last year. I could put that on the list, but I still love The Words, though. It's definitely better than any episode on this list, in my opinion. And there's also The Decisions. And yeah, there's better Darwin-centric episodes that they could have aired more than this one. I mean, this is a good episode, but I don't think the family thinking that Darwin wants to come back to his like little fishy world where he originally came from. Yeah, I don't think that's worth showing on the TV 100 times a year. I mean, yeah, this is still a good episode, but it's far from my favorites of the Gumball episodes. And yeah, I don't think it would probably even make maybe top 5 Darwin-centric episodes. Yeah, it's a good episode, but it's had time too much to shine on the TV. The next episode that's on this list is definitely my favorite episode on this list. The Copycats. Yeah, that one episode where they make fun of the Chinese Gumball ripoff known as Miracle Star. I remember when I first saw this episode, I think it was like one appointment like at the doctor's office or whatever when we were getting my prescription or whatever for track because I was joining the track team that year during the 6th grade. And yeah, they had the TV on Cartoon Network, and Cartoon Network aired this episode of Gumball called The Copycats, and I first saw it. And yeah, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I do really like this episode. I would probably say it's one of my favorite episodes of Gumball, at least in the later seasons. But I wouldn't put it like crazy high up there for my favorite Gumball episodes. You know, I mean, I do remember seeing people consider this episode to be top 10 worthy, like top 10 Gumball episodes good. But for me, I don't really think it's that good. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a really good episode. It's a really good episode where the Watersons have to deal with this Chinese ripoff Gumball cartoon family, copying like everything they do. It's funny how they make fun of Miracle Star and all that in this episode. This is a really good episode, but for me, I don't know. Would I even put this on a top 50 Gumball episodes list? It's a really good episode, but they definitely aired it too much last year. And yeah, I think they overplayed it like in other years too, like probably in 2017, the year where I first saw this episode. Yeah, this is a really good episode. Again, it's easily my favorite out of the 3 episodes on this list. But again, it's had its time too much to shine on the spotlight. It does not need to air 100 times a year. But I don't know, I guess I could understand, it's more understandable why they would air this episode more than like probably the other 2 episodes that are on this list. Because yeah, this episode probably is like one of the most popular Gumball episodes. And this is still a really good episode. It's pretty funny how they make fun of Miracle Star and all that in this episode. But still, they overplayed it a bit too much. And the last episode that's on this list, oh my god. The last episode that's on this list is The Puppets. I think of this episode as like the Gumball version of the Old Glory episode of King of the Hill, because like how the Flag episode of King of the Hill is the most overplayed episode of King of the Hill last year, I feel that the Puppets episode of Gumball is the most overplayed Gumball episode of last year, because oh my gosh, they aired this episode so much last year. With the amount of hours I spent watching Gumball off Cartoon Network at the hotels last year, this was definitely the episode I would see come on the most. And fun fact, last year was actually my first time watching it, actually. I first saw this episode off a Gumball live stream on YouTube in January of 2023. This was like maybe like a week or 2 before we moved out of that old apartment and started staying in hotels that year. Yeah, I saw this episode off of a Gumball live stream that in January of 2023 last year, and it's a good episode. It's by no means a bad episode. It's an interesting episode that has an interesting plot about, you know, Darwin being told by Gumball to give up his puppets from their childhood. But yeah, Darwin can't resist these puppets. He keeps playing with these puppets, and he becomes so obsessed with these puppets to the point where the puppets take control of him, and him and Gumball later end up in this like weird puppet world and all that. Yeah, this is a good episode, but I wouldn't put it anywhere near among my favorite episodes of Gumball. Yeah, definitely not. It's definitely nowhere near up there. I don't think I would. Maybe I wouldn't even put it on a top 100 favorite Gumball episodes list. And even if I did, it would probably be like pretty low on that top 100, like maybe somewhere like in the 90s or 80s section. Because oh my god, man, this episode aired way too much last year. Like seriously, why did they air this episode as much as they did? Why? Why? It's probably even harder to understand why this episode airs so much than like the Flag episode of King of the Hill. Like seriously, why did this episode air so much? Why? It's not that good. It's not that good. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of Gumball fans can agree that this episode is definitely not top 10 Gumball episodes good. I mean, it's a good episode, but no, I definitely want to put it anywhere near among the best episodes of Gumball. Again, there's better Darwin-centric episodes out there. And yet, this episode, it's a good episode. It's by no means a bad episode. It's a good episode. It's got good jokes in it. It's got an interesting plot in it. And it has a nice message about how sometimes you have to grow up and give up certain things from your childhood. Yeah, that's all that stuff's good. But still, that does not give you the excuse to air this episode like 100 times a year. Please don't air this episode as nearly as much this year. Please. Please, it's a good episode, but it does not need to be aired this much. Please, Cartoon Network, please don't air this episode as nearly as much. Please. Gumball has way more episodes to pick from than that. You can, oh my god, there's like certain other episodes that haven't aired as much that, you know, you could have replaced some of the airings of the Puppets episode with like more airings of those episodes. Yeah, seriously, please don't air this episode as much this year, Cartoon Network, please. It's a good episode. But yeah, for me, it's definitely not up there for my favorite Gumball episodes. Definitely not that good. But anyway, that's my list, you guys. Maybe I could have had this list be a list that randomly lists what I believe are a few overplayed Gumball episodes, like of all time, of any year, not just last year in 2023. But I thought that would be easier for me to just have this list be for 2023, especially look at the amount of Gumball I watched off Cartoon Network on live TV last year at the hotels. Yeah. I mean, obviously I watched a lot of Gumball in other years too, but 2023 was definitely the year where I did that the most. And I thought that would be the easiest to have this list be only about 2023, even though, yeah, that's definitely not how I did this list when I did that list of a few overplayed King of the Hill episodes like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but whatever. It's how I decided to do this list. And yeah, if you guys want to, you can let me know in the comment section down below. Like maybe what's your favorite Gumball episode out of these few episodes, what your thoughts are in these episodes, what do you think of these lists, maybe what your favorite Gumball episodes are. And yeah, that's it for this video, you guys. Bye, everyone, and thank you all for watching this video.